Is a keyboard a good way to start learning piano? With so many options on the market today, they all start to look the same. But here is the reality. I have seen so many beginners pick up the wrong instrument, only to realize they have to sell it and buy a proper one just a few months later. Even worse, it often leads to bad habits that can take years of frustrating practice to fix. If you have ever wondered if a keyboard can truly replace a digital piano, then this video is for you. Specifically, we are talking about arranger keyboards like the Yamaha PSR series. These usually feature those thin and light synth action keys, which are often called the diving board style. To be fair, these keyboards have plenty of charm. They are affordable, portable, and packed with fun features. In fact, I actually started on a Yamaha PSR myself as a child, and I absolutely loved it. But for serious learning, certain features of these keyboards can often become obstacles. That is why today, I'm going to show you exactly how to avoid these traps. I want to help you choose the right tool for your journey, whether that is a keyboard or a full digital piano. We will break it down into 4 essential areas: pedals, key count, key action, and touch sensitivity. By the way, this topic was actually inspired by a comment from one of you on my last video. A huge thanks for the inspiration. Most of these keyboards come with a simple, square plastic sustain pedal. For a gigging musician who's always on the move, these are fantastic because they're so portable. They're also perfectly fine if you're just playing pop or having some casual fun. But what if you're getting serious about classical music? Well, it's actually good enough for beginners. But once you hit the intermediate level, you'll eventually need a proper, high-quality 3-pedal system to express those subtle musical nuances. I've explained why in a separate video, so don't forget to watch that as well. One quick tip. Some ultra-low-budget models don't even have a pedal jack. They only offer a sustain button on the panel. So be sure to check the back of the keyboard before you buy. Now, let's talk about the key count. Most arranger keyboards come with 61 keys, though you might find 76 on some higher-end models. For comparison, a standard full-sized piano has 88 keys. For beginners and for most modern music, 61 keys are usually enough. But for intermediate and advanced classical repertoire, 61 keys quickly become limiting, because many classical pieces require the full range of the piano. Plus, having more keys allows you to play duets with a teacher or a friend, which is a fantastic way to learn and stay motivated. Next, key action. Synth action, or unweighted keys, are made of thin plastic. The biggest plus? Portability. Real piano action is heavy, making the instrument hard to move around. This style originated from the Hammond B3 organ. Since organs don't rely on touch velocity for volume, they didn't need heavy keys. So they used light, spring-based plastic keys. In the 1960s, combo organs like the Vox or Farfisa introduced the diving board style to further cut down on weight and cost, and it eventually carried over into synthesizers and modern keyboards. Interestingly, these light keys actually became better for certain genres. These keys are great for fast shredding, organ licks, brass, and various sound effects because of their fast return and light touch. But be careful. Traditional waterfall-style keys are rounded, making smooth glissandos with the palm of your hand possible, unlike acoustic pianos, which have a lip at the front. However, diving board keys have sharp edges and that lip again. This not only makes glissandos harder, but you could also hurt your hand. Plus, because they are structurally weaker, the keys can break, bend, or become loose over time. For very young children with weak finger strength, or for casual hobbyists, these light keys can actually be helpful and more comfortable. But for students who want to seriously learn classical piano, I recommend weighted keys from day one. It helps build the right habits, finger strength, and the ability to control dynamics. Another important point is accuracy. Because synth action keys are so light, players who are used to acoustic pianos often accidentally press neighboring keys by mistake. This happens because acoustic piano keys provide much more resistance and stability. Also, real pianos feature graded hammer action, where the keys are heavier in the bass and get lighter as you move up the treble. On unweighted keyboards, the tension is the same across all keys, which can be very confusing for a pianist's muscle memory. Next, let's talk about something that often gets overlooked: touch sensitivity, also known as velocity. This is the keyboard's ability to change the volume based on how hard or soft you press the keys. Believe it or not, some basic keyboards don't have this feature at all. On those models, every note comes out at the exact same volume, no matter how much force you use. If a child is just learning where the notes are, or playing simple 8-beat pop rhythms, you might get away with it for a little while. But as soon as you want to play with emotion, you'll run into a wall. You might wonder, do digital pianos have this issue? Not really. While there can be quality differences between models, they are fundamentally designed to be pianos. In fact, the word piano comes from pianoforte, which literally means soft, loud. Without touch response, you certainly can't play soulful ballads or classical pieces with any depth. So, when you look for a keyboard, check for touch response. It is not an option, it's a necessity. So, do you need a high-end piano right away? Here is how I see it. If your child is elementary school age or older, you have the budget, and they want to focus on classical music, go for a proper digital piano with weighted keys. It's a solid investment in their musical future. On the other hand, if the child is very young, your budget is tight, or you're just not sure if they'll stick with it yet, start with a budget-friendly keyboard. It's a low-risk way to test the waters. You can always sell it later or upgrade once they've leveled up. Ultimately, I believe the best instrument isn't necessarily the most expensive one. It's the one that actually makes you want to sit down and play every single day. Of course, a pro-level digital piano has many more benefits, but in this video, I wanted to focus only on the most essential factors to consider when buying a keyboard for your or your child's piano journey. If you want to dive deeper into what makes a high-quality digital piano, I've got a whole video on that called Cheap versus Expensive Digital Pianos. And if you found this helpful, please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel keep moving forward. Thanks for watching.